In this lesson, we're going to learn how to cut our work into half or double our productivity, however way you want to look at it. Specifically, we'll be talking about the mirror command. Mirror is another tool that allows us to copy geometry. These copies are special though, in that they are a reflection of the original. On my screen, I've drawn one half of a car. This car is symmetrical. I've also drawn the center line, or my line of symmetry. Mirror is a great tool to use anytime you have symmetrical geometry, because you only have to draw one side. Mirror will produce the other side for you. To finish my car, I am going to come up with the modify panel and launch the mirror command. I will then select the geometry I'd like to copy, or mirror. I will press enter when I'm finished. Now I need to identify 2 points on my line of symmetry, or my mirror line. I'll grab the endpoint on the right side of my line, and then I'll come over and grab the endpoint on the left. Finally, do you want to delete the source objects? You don't have to keep them. I'm going to press enter to accept the default because I like to keep my original geometry, and you can see my car is finished. As you can see, the whole trick is using the mirror command is identifying 2 points on that line of symmetry. Now that we understand how mirror works, let's try and use it in a practical example. I'm going to zoom out and I'll pan the drawing up. On my screen, I have a drawing of a small hotel room. I'm going to zoom in on the bedroom area first. Over here on the left side of the bed, I've drawn a nightstand and a lamp. I'd like to create a copy of this geometry on the right side of the bed. This is a perfect opportunity to use mirror. I'll come up and launch the mirror command, and I'll use a window selection to select my geometry. I'll press enter when I'm finished. I don't have a physical line that represents my mirror line. I actually don't need one. I can grab the object snaps. My mirror line can be identified by grabbing the midpoint at the foot of the bed and the midpoint at the top of the bed. I'll press enter when I'm finished, and you can see I've created a perfect reflected copy. Let's take the concept even further. I am going to zoom out. Since this geometry is part of a hotel floor plan, chances are the room to the south of this one is a mirrored copy of the original room. Let's use a mirror command to create the adjoining room. First thing I'm going to do is create my mirror line, or my line of symmetry. That line will run right down the middle of the south wall. To make this visual, I'm going to draw that line. I'll do that by launching the line command, and I'm going to create my line from the middle of this wall. I will then lock my ortho, and I'll pull the line out the east side of the room. When I'm finished, I'll press escape. Now I would like this line to run all the way through the floor plan. So I'm going to select the line I just drew. I'll then hover over this grip on the left side and I'll choose lengthen. And I'll drag this line out to the west side of the room. When I'm finished, I'll press escape. Let's do one more thing. When I mirror this geometry, I don't need any of this geometry to the south of my mirror line, so we'll trim it off. To do that, I'll launch the trim command. I'll select my mirror line as my cutting object and press enter. And I'd like to trim this line work and this line work. When I'm finished, I'll press escape. Now let's zoom out and we'll create the room next door. I'll launch the mirror command and I'll select the floor plan. I'll press enter when I'm finished. I would then select the endpoint on the right side of my mirror line, and I'll come over and select the endpoint on the left side. And I'll press enter to keep the original objects. Finally, I don't need this center line anymore, so I'll select this and press delete to remove it from the drawing. Anytime you're working with symmetrical geometry, consider using the mirror command. When used properly, it can quite literally cut your work in half.